All right, so I thought I'd do this video as I continue to put out a series of videos on the different settings for the cars in the NASCAR Heat series of video games, and how you can change those settings to change the handling of the car, and then what kind of range you usually use for some of these settings. This one is on springs and tire pressures, and the springs and tire pressures work the same way. So if you go up on the right front spring and up on the right front tire pressure, it is having the same impact. So moving these things in in one direction, whether it's a spring or tire pressure, it moves it the same. So they very much work in unison. It's almost like thinking of the tire pressure as an extension of the spring, maybe, or vice versa, if it helps you think of it that way better. But let's jump into it here. The front, now this is at ovals. Different rules apply to road courses, and if anybody wants to, I can talk about setups for road courses. But generally, your left and right springs, I like to run them as stiff as I can. That would be 1,200 pounds in this game. Now, if you, and this is a general statement, lowering those springs makes the car looser, but that is talking about moving them together. So if you went from 1,200 to 1,000, you're going to get a looser feel to the car. Now, we're going to talk about how they work individually in just a second. The rear springs are the opposite, lowering the rear springs, and again, this is moving them together. If you drop them both by, say, 100 pounds, that's going to tighten the car up while increasing them loosens them. My general setup for most tracks is I start off with 1,200 on both of the front springs. I run 500 on the left rear and 600 on the right rear, and then I will adjust from there if necessary. Now, the caveat to that is the the flatter the track is, in the less banking you have in the corners, you generally run softer springs in the back, and the stiffer springs are used for the tracks with the higher banking. Now that's pardon me, the general rules on them. Let's go into the specifics. Now the right side, okay, the right rear and right front tires. That's where, when you're going through a corner, most of the weight shifts over, okay, because you're making a left-hand turn, so all the weight's going to shift to the right. That's how the G forces work. Okay, an adjustment on the right side, whether it's spring or tire pressure, is going to have a way bigger impact than making the same adjustment on the left side. Okay, so if you're talking about this where you might move something on the right side a couple of clicks, you'd have to probably move it 5 or 6 or 8 on the left side to get the same impact. But let's get into the specifics, and let's talk about the right side first. If you lower that right front tire pressure, um, it loosens the car. If you increase it, it tightens the car. Okay. Now, if you go to the rear, um, it is the opposite. Okay. So none of this actually works exactly the same. Okay. So when you go to the rear, it's the opposite. Lowering the right rear tire pressure tightens the car, while increasing it loosens the car. Now, when we start talking about this, and now flip over to the left side of the car, now everything is the opposite. Now, on the left front, lowering the front tire pressure there tightens up the car, and increasing it loosens it. If you go to the left rear, lowering that tire pressure is going to loosen it, while increasing it tightens the car. So it's like there is no two things the same when you look at those four corners of the car and how you are adjusting your tire pressures on it. So this is kind of a short video. I think there's some misconceptions out there about it. I've actually got separate videos, if anybody wants to see them, where I have made adjustments to the right front or the right rear tire and ran laps, and you can see how much or little I have to turn the wheel, and you can see how much or little it wears the tires. So if you are doubting the validity of these adjustments, I've got a separate video out there that you can watch where you can actually see me driving, and you can see the difference in the tire wear. You can see a difference in how much I'm turning the wheel. So this is not, for lack of a better word, hearsay. You can actually go watch a video of mine to see how it actually works. But that is about all I have to say about the tire pressure and springs. Hope this was helpful to you guys. Do me a favor, if it was helpful at all, hit the like button. If you are liking the content you're seeing here, subscribe to the channel. I work really hard to put out videos that are enjoyable to watch, but are more than anything informative and help people make their cars faster and turn faster laps. So if this is the type of stuff you like to see, please subscribe to the channel. And your support for all this that I'm doing means so much to me. I'm getting so much positive feedback. It really brightens my day. So thank you guys for all that. Let's keep it going and hope this helps you guys and hope everybody's having a great day.